All right, I want to do a quick lesson for pages 25 through 27. And this is just introducing what happens if we put a number in front of the function, like the sine or the cosine. What does that number do? The 1/3, the 3, and then later on talk about what happens when we put a 2 out front as well. So let's take the 3 sine of x. Now just a regular sine of x. We'll use, what's the color I don't have up there? I'll just use green for the standard one. So this, let's say this is sine of x. Okay. 3 sine of x, I'm going to use the same color as this one, starts at the same place, but instead of going up only 1, it's going to go up here to 3 for its maximum. And then it's going to come back through this same point, go all the way down to -3, come back up through here, go up to +3, and keep going. Okay? So what happens, this is called the amplitude. In fact, they use the letter A, which makes sense. So the amplitude is higher, but the crossing points are still the same. So you would say the maximum and the minimum points are now at the 3 and the -3. The shape is the same, okay? So a 5, look at that. A 5 sine x means it's going to go, I got to extend this, all the way up to here for its maximum. And then it's going to go through here, go all the way down to -5, and then come all the way up, okay? You get the idea? And then if it's, what do I have here? 1/3 x. So that means it starts here, but instead of going all the way up to 1, it's only going to go 1/3 of the way up, still go through there, 1/3 of the way there. So very shallow. All right, what if I had, let me erase these graphs. We could do a similar thing for cosine. Let's say we have y equals 2 cosine of x. Remember, cosine means it reaches its maximum point on this axis. So instead of crossing and going up, it starts here at, in this case, 2, and then it's going to come down and go down to -2. And then come up to +2. So the amplitude is 2, but it's reaching its maximum point on this axis. Okay? What if we have a number out front like 2? What does that do? Where's my red pen? Okay? What this tells us, actually to make this a little bit easier, I'm going to make this a -2, just because I'm running out of room up here. -2, so that means instead of using the x-axis as my midpoint, I'm going to go down here to -2, and that becomes the axis, and then we go up 3 and down 3 from there. So it's a sine of x. So it's going to start here instead of up here, and it's going to go up 1, 2, 3, and down 3 below, and then 3 above, and 3 below, okay? So the amplitude is 3, and it starts at -2, so it's going above and below this line. So if you think about it, if this is -2 and it goes up 3, then the maximum point is only going to be +1. And what would the minimum point be? 3 below what? Not below 0, 3 below the -2 line. So the minimum point down here now is going to be -5. So they give you a little formula where you would add the amplitude to the midline here. So -2 plus 3 would be 1. So that's the maximum. -2 minus 3 would be the minimum point. So that really isn't too bad, okay? Once you get the idea, then using their little formulas. Don't make it too hard. Hopefully you can figure out up through page 26 and even page 27, okay? Page 27 is kind of fun. You plug all of that into your y equals on your calculator, and then it'll graph it for you, and then you just copy the graph onto those problems on page 27. But notice sometimes the graph has to be shifted up or shifted down. It's not necessarily going through that midpoint. All right, I want to come back and talk about one more lesson on page 28, and then I'm going to have to go for today. And we'll see when we get back to finishing this page talking about tangents. That will be challenging.